I walk in Broadleaf Woodland almost every morning of the year with my border collie Leaf and my nature journal. We leave the house early and quietly, often in soft golden light. Each season brings its own story and colour palette, but there is something particularly special about Woodlands in late spring. Spring is often slow to get started here in Scotland. It creeps along the woodland floor until late May when the land begins to fizz with life. Some of my favourite wildflowers like common dog violets reappear, and a pair of nuthatches have found a hole in a mighty old oak tree in which to nest. Without a biting frost each morning, more time can be taken to pause and record these small observations. But I'm not the only one enjoying the milder temperatures and lush spring undergrowth. Conservation efforts are helping our native red squirrels to spread across the south of Scotland. And sometimes I can spot them nimbly manoeuvring the crowns of larch and Scots pine trees. But I really wanted the opportunity to sketch them up close, and so this year I decided to visit the Woodland Hide at a rewilding project north of my home, where these wild red squirrels are partial to a peanut or two. The hide is found in a clearing of dappled sunlight and fresh spring growth, and was the perfect place to sit with a flask of tea, a notebook and a camera. Squirrel coat colours can vary from almost black to blonde, but my favourite individual was rusty red and had already lost its ear tufts for summer. Many woodland birds were spotted from the hide, but an unexpected highlight was a visit from a jay, which dropped in to steal some nuts. A powder pink and electric blue bird, which is often heard screeching in the canopy, but skittish and difficult to observe up close, so this was a real treat. When I'm out in the field, I usually take only rough notes and sketches in a notebook. Then, when I'm back in my art room, I really take the time to record a detailed entry in a more formal journal. I like to create a double-page spread for each new place or habitat I have visited, and watercolours are my favourite medium, but I also use fineliners and colouring pencils too. I will continue to work on it for a few days between dog walks and work meetings until I have captured the observations and colour palette of my visit to the Woodland Hide. As late spring blooms into early summer, there's one more thing I would really like to see before the season passes. At woodland edges and in sunlit clearings, greater spotted woodpeckers are always creeping into the peripheral of my vision. A flash of pied plumage bouncing through the trees, or a squeaking call in the canopy. And yet I couldn't find an active nest where I could really watch the adult birds feeding their young. My search led me deeper and deeper into the woods, along the River Esk, past ancient oaks and dark, glossy foliage, where red campion flowered in the shadows. Until at last, in an ivy-cloaked corner of woodland, I heard the unmistakable sound of hungry chicks, and two familiar silhouettes crept along the branches. I watched the woodpeckers as they returned every few minutes with beakfuls of food, late into the evening, far later than I expected. Parents were easy to tell apart because the male has a distinctive red patch at the back of his head. Eventually dusk arrived and pipistrelle bats began to flit over my head. As we go into June, less of my time will be spent in the woods in favour of grasslands, so this memorable encounter was a perfect end to the season.